Alright guys, the countdown has begun. We are finally going to be getting into this game. SaSe is going to be playing TSL.HyuN. The map is ESV Cloud Kingdom. And this is the second game in the tiebreak. The winner of this game goes through as the #1 seed in the group. And the person who loses this game has to play Forsen, who lost the first game, for the second seed. And of course, whoever loses the next game does indeed drop out of the tournament at this stage. So we will wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this game. Alright guys, the map is ESV Cloud Kingdom, spawning over here in the top right of the map. We have as the red Protoss the winner in that last game. Will he be able to progress to the round of 16 after this? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Quantic.SaSe. And over here in the bottom left of the map, we have our blue Zerg fighting to stay alive in the group. There are 3 players, but only 2 slots going. Will he be able to take it? Let's find out. It's going to be TSL.HyuN. So this, of course, is going to be a best of 1. I believe the winner of this game goes on as the #1 seed, and the loser has to play Forsen for the second seed. At least that's what one of the admins had told me previously. Technically, HyuN and Forsen still have to play if it was just nothing but a 3-way tie, but I don't actually think it's going to be an all-play-all. I genuinely believe the loser of this game goes up against Forsen for second seed, so we will find out shortly. That's what I was told before the game started. Of course, someone could be wrong. But let's see, we have more epic games for you anyway, guys, is the point. Group G, epic tiebreak here. And we do have the pylon on the low ground coming up from SaSe, so he is going to want to wall off this area of the map here and go for that fast expand once again. HyuN, in the meantime, going to be grabbing that pool first, possibly piling on a little bit of early aggression, but really just going to want to establish map control over SaSe here on Cloud Kingdom. In the meantime, no gas has been taken by either player yet. We'll wait and see. The spawning pool is now over halfway complete, and the forge now going down at the wall off for Quantic.SaSe. He's probably going to be leaving a gap at the top, and I like the decision to leave the gap at the top because that way you have units on the high ground able to hit down. So he's going to be walling off with a gateway or a cybernetics core here, and then maybe the cybernetics core or even a pylon here, and then just leaving a small gap at the top. So we'll see how that goes. Game number 2 in this tiebreak series, of course. This is all to play for these guys. They need to win this game if they want to progress. And HyuN going to be going for that third base location, actually, pretty quickly indeed, instead of the natural. So he's going to go up to quite a quick 3 base. And now SaSe must be wondering, hang on a second, we don't have an expansion incoming, what's going on? It looks like the pylon is going to get focused down as well, and SaSe is going to be scanning the third base location, and he's now going to say, ah, I see, you've expanded to the third base location, it's going to be a little bit more vulnerable to attack, let's see what I can do about this. But the forge fast expand is going to go up. In fact, the photon cannon, the first thing to pop up there, and there we go. Oh no, the gateway actually going in the top, so it looks like the gap is going to be left in the bottom of the wall. In the meantime, we have the third hatchery going down at the natural location for TSL.HyuN. And what else do we have here? We have no metabolic boost, of course, because there is no gas being mined at the moment. Both gases now being taken by Quantic.SaSe. He's going to be taking up off of these 2 bases. Pylon actually going to be moving into... Ooh, there we go. He's going to be moving into the natural. Hold on 1 second. All players and casters move to Dreamhack EIZO for round of 16 starts ASAP. Does that include myself? The tiebreak is in my group. Please let me know. Guys, we may have to ditch this game, potentially. I will find out what's going on afterwards. But since this is in my group, I am not inclined to leave this game right now. Let's find out what is happening with the admins. I will be directed in just a moment. Alright, it looks like I'm going to be continuing casting the tiebreak while the rest of the round of 16 starts, ladies and gentlemen. So, I am going to be staying in this game. Some of the other casters may be heading off in just a second. Let's find out. But in the meantime, we have the cybernetics core now nearly done for Quantic.SaSe. We have the third gas being taken at the natural as well, so he's gone up to 3 gas, not quite 4 yet, and both gases in the main are now also being taken by TSL.HyuN. So both players are deciding it is going to be time to tech up just a little bit, as we do see the Protoss ground weapons level 1 also being researched by SaSe. So guys, I am going to be staying for the tiebreak since this happens to be my group. I will not leave my players be. I know the round of 16 is going to be epic, but I will try and join those games a little bit later. I will be hanging around here to focus on the tiebreak with you guys. And we do have Quantic.SaSe now going for the Stargate, actually. That's going to be a pretty cool play coming out of him. And another pylon, just another layer to try and make sure that this wall-up is pretty secure over here at the front of his base. As the Stargate finishes, and it looks like a Void Ray is going to be the first unit out of there. SaSe probably going to want to apply a little bit of pressure to this third base here from TSL.HyuN. We'll wait and see how effective that ends up being, but we now have a couple of units spread out. A forward pylon is going to get put down on the left-hand side, and the forward Zealot and Stalker are sort of chilling out at this watchtower, seeing if HyuN is moving any units out of his base, but of course he is not. Overlord is now going to be above, and he will know when SaSe moves out with these units. Will the Void Ray be seen, though? No, it doesn't look like it. He doesn't see the Stargate, and he didn't see the Void Ray coming out, so that could potentially be huge if SaSe can take him by surprise. We have another Void Ray coming out now, and look at this, the Void Ray, nice pathing on it. The Zergling just missing it as well, going to come through the middle of the map, but he deliberately went left and then down because he knows that there is likely going to be an Overlord here. Beautiful play coming out of there from SaSe. That's going to allow this Void Ray to go undetected for the maximum amount of time, because this watchtower is not being taken by the Zerg player at the moment, so he is going to get surprised by this Void Ray when it pops up in his third. And it looks like the first Void Ray is now about to do some damage. Queen now popping out. A lot of roaches here, though. Will he be able to get the Queen? The Void Ray is following the Queen, and the first one does indeed go down, but the Spore Crawler crucially completes, and it looks like this Void Ray is going to be forced to go into the main base. The second Void Ray now up and across the map, but I think HyuN has enough roaches that he might want to consider mounting some sort of counter here. We'll have to wait and see. Holding off the Zealots, absolutely fine, and the Spore Crawlers and the Queens will indeed be able to hold off these Void Rays for now. In fact, one of them getting so close. Queen's on creep very fast, and one Void Ray does go down. The second one is at the third base, and oh no, ladies and gentlemen, Wolf lagging a little bit. He did that earlier in a Naniwa game. Hopefully, that's going to be it. Minion OD has indeed left the game. We've got a couple of the casters leaving. Fingers crossed that will solve the problem. We have got a robotics facility now back at home for SaSe. Going to be going into Immortal production here, and a lot of roaches now coming out from TSL.HyuN. Will he be going for some sort of timing? Let's wait and see. Grouped Spines and Zerg missile attacks level 1 are going to be en route, so we could be seeing a very nice Hydra Roach timing attack here. We'll have to see what happens with that. Meanwhile, back here in the base of SaSe, what have we got? We do have a lot of sentries moving out now towards the third base, which he's just taken, and he's going to need that if he wants to force field this ramp while defending. A lot of photon cannons going down as well, and a gateway to try and reduce the surface area on this Artosis pylon in the middle of that group. Cluster of pylons, I guess. We have a sentry stranded in the main base here, but I suppose it would be quite good for defense, and an Overseer now going to be popping in to see exactly what is going on. So we have got the Twilight Council now down for SaSe, but nothing being researched there at the moment. A Dark Shrine, always a possibility later on in the game, and mass Hydra production has now started for TSL.HyuN. So the beginnings of his Roach Hydra attack are starting to form, and it looks like the units are going to be chilling out with intent over here on the right-hand side of the map. This Void Ray able to get a couple of free Roach kills, though, but the slow Hydras are going to be more than enough to force this Void Ray to head on back home. 3 kills on that Void Ray at the moment, and doing a good job of trying to keep map control, and it looks like a Phoenix is going to be able to take out that Overseer. However, HyuN has already seen pretty much everything. The only things he hasn't seen is what is going on at the third base besides mining. But obviously, because the third base is going to be one of the first locations that HyuN wants to hit, SaSe wouldn't necessarily be putting too many critical buildings there by the third, so it's not something HyuN has to worry about this early on. Right, so Roach Hydra is going to be popping in now. The Zergling Vanguard is possibly going to be checking out the destructible rocks there. There is no observer above the army, so SaSe, the only indication that he has that this is coming in is if that Void Ray saw those roaches, and I'm not 100% clear that happened. SaSe might not know this army is coming because he has a bunch of units at the natural, and here we go. Nice concave from HyuN going into the third base, and now SaSe knows it's coming, but the first blood does go to HyuN as he's trying to take out some of these building cannons here. It looks like one of them gets cancelled, the second one gets cancelled, and the third one is likely to get cancelled as well. We're going to see a straight-up fight. The Hydralisk not quite able to outrange that cannon at the moment, and we are going to be waiting for the force fields to wear off, but so many sentries with so much energy. Very nice force fields by SaSe. That is clutch holding right there, and splitting the army perfectly in two, but SaSe is down 124 supply to 181. Will he be able to hold on there? The Immortal not actually getting a lot of surface area at all, and this Roach Hydra is spilling into the third base. HyuN could potentially be taking this game, and we'll have to wait and see. 183 to 119 supply, and behind this, more Zerglings and more Roaches being produced. We have +2 missile attacks now coming in for HyuN, and that's going to benefit immensely those Roaches and the Hydras. He has a lot more Roaches than Hydras, which is good. This army has a lot of meat in it. He has a lot of damage he can absorb before those Hydras get exposed, and those Hydras doing insane DPS from the back there. The Nexus now at 2/3 health, and actually getting rid of the Nexus is going to be really useful for TSL.HyuN. It's just going to give him more space to walk around in, and there we go. The Probe's on hold position, trying his best to stop the advance of the army here, but so much damage is being done. The Void Ray now does pop by as well, and we do have a Phoenix, so we could be seeing a couple of Hydra picks up if the Void Ray can pick them off. The problem is there are just a little few too many Hydras in this composition for the Void Ray and Phoenix to be completely safe. And now we have the Colossus incoming. Will SaSe be able to hold once the Colossus comes out? Phoenix, as predicted, is going to be picking up a Hydra, and the Void Ray trying to do as much damage as possible, but the Colossus gets focused down, and GG! TSL.HyuN is going to beat Quantic.SaSe, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like we're going to be going into game number 3 of this tiebreaker in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. I am JoRoSaR. We'll be right back after this very quick commercial break.